Hello and welcome to the lecture series on railways, harbour, tunneling and airport for the subject code 18CV645, module 3, session 2, classification and location of harbour, principles and layout of an harbour. So in this session we are going to discuss about harbour classification, road states and layout of an artificial harbour and its component, and lastly the references. So harbours are going to be classified into a primary and subsidiary. So primary classifications include the natural harbour, protected harbour or artificial harbour. So these are connected with respect to, so when we said harbour in the primary classification, similarly in the subsidiary classification of an harbour we are going to be having a road street, harbours of a refuge, naval harbour, then commercial harbour, and lastly the fishing harbour. So this is based on the functional parameter. So this is based on the protection what we are been having it. Say for example, this is with respect to the type of protections we are been having it. So it may be natural or it may be artificial. So this is how we are been having, depends on the functionality. So this is how we are been classifying the harbour with respect to primary or subsidiary. Moving on to the first type of classification, so that is going to be the primary one based on the formation. So based on the formations we are going to be having a natural harbour. It means land itself is been locked with respect to the harbours has been concerned. Semi-natural means sometimes it's called as a protected harbour, and lastly man-made harbour, that is going to be called as an artificial type. So next we are going to be classifying based on the utilities like the same refuge, military or commercial or a fishery, depending upon how we are being utilizing the harbour. So based on that also we are going to be classifying the harbour. So apart from that one, depending upon the type of location where the harbour is going to be a functional, suppose if you are using the canal as a structure, so that is going to be a canal harbour. Depending upon the lake or estuaries or a sea or a ocean, so that is also we are going to be classifying the harbour based on the location. Moving on to the harbour classification, so that is a landlocked or a natural harbour. So it is a natural formation of a sea coast for the safer discharge of the facilities with respect to the ship, or seashores which is having a creek or a basin or an inlet. It is been protected from the storms and waves by the natural configuration of a land. So such harbour we are going to be called as a natural harbour or landlocked. As the name indicates, land itself is going to be locked in such a way that it is going to be having a protected network for the ship operations has been concerned. Similarly, natural harbours are going to be formed entirely by inlet from the sea. There might be also a constituents constituted by the headland or projected part of the coast converging towards on each of the other. They may have also a narrow entrances which may going to lead for the sheltered area of a water. Natural harbour do not require any protective or formative works. So few of the examples for this might be New York, that is been involved as a criteria if you are taken into account, New York, London or Liverpool. So these countries are going to be having what we say a natural harbour type, that is a totally land is been protected by itself, no other man activities or man-made constructions are there. So apart from that one, Sydney, Melbourne and Baltimore is also going to be there. Suppose if we concerned about in Indian perspective, so Mumbai and Kandla are going to be having a natural harbour. So in this image we can see that this is a hatched mark which is been shown on the either side. So these are going to be the walls, or it is been protected naturally. So this total entire area is protected. So with respect to the natural phenomena, so on the right side we can see that that is a Kandla port. So this is shores are been natural structures. So there is no man-made until only a few of the component like quay or a berth it has been concerned. So this entire area is been naturally protected, that is a harbor area for ease of operation. So this is a entrance, shorter or a narrowed entrance which has been protected naturally. So such type of harbors we are going to be called as natural harbor. So it means that naturally it is been formed, so there is no construction activities is required apart from few important component. Next is going to be the protected types of an harbor, or sometimes it is called semi-natural harbor system. So this harbor is going to be protected on only one side by the headland, and it requires some more protections as it should be constructed. Protected harbor are partly a natural or partly might be an artificial one, so it lies in between. They are being formed primarily in base or in such a positions in a coastal line. Artificial construction of a breakwater is necessary, or sometimes entrance molds may supplement the existing natural features. So as far as the world's phenomena has been concerned, Cape Town in the South Africa is going to be the name in which we have been having a one side as a natural, another side a man-made structure. So as far as in India scenario has been concerned, it is a Visakhapatnam where in which we have been having a semi-natural type of an harbor. So how it is going to be, just to see on the one side it is been totally protected from the nature itself, it is been having a shore, it is been protected from the external agencies like a wind. So on the other side man-made construction according to the engineering design it has been done. So that is going to be called as a breakwater. So that is being covered the harborage area with respect to a narrowed entrance. So in this image we can see that on the one side we are been having a natural shore, or it is been protected from the wind. So on the other side we are been having a man-made structure, that is on a one side. So this is going to be a combination of artificial or a natural that is going to be there. So this type of harbors we are going to be called as an protected harbors. So next is going to be the artificial one. So it is a man-made, so it requires all the engineering skills and method to construct according to our requirement. That type of harbor is going to be called as an artificial. It means that there is no natural shores are been then. According to our design principles, if we start constructed on the both the sides of a wall, that is a breakwaters, so such structures or the harbors are going to be called as an artificial one. So in India, in Chennai is going to be the example for having the artificial harbor. So how it is going to be? So as we see that in some of figure, so this side there is no hatched mark. It means that this side is also a breakwater. It has been constructed according to our engineering designing. So on the other shore also we started constructing a breakwater, and all other things are going to be given the entrance or the harborage coverages. So such type of structures are going to be nomenclated as a artificial harbor. So on the right side we can see this is an harbor which has been constructed. This is man-made, one side a breakwater, so that is also another breakwater. So this is the entrance, it has been provided. So this is an example of a Chennai harbor. So that is artificial harbor. So try to remember that depending upon the natural means shores are going to be a natural. If you construct on a one side it is going to be a semi-natural, on the both side if it is going to be constructed on design, so that is going to be artificial harbors. So next type of classification, that is as we read it already in the previous slide, that is based on the utility we are going to be having a refuge harbor, commercial, or the fishery harbor, or military harbor. So what exactly the commercial harbor? So in which the docks are going to be provided with all the necessity facilities for loading and unloading of cargo. Dry docks are going to be provided for ship repairing. So that type of harbor is going to be called as commercial harbor. commercial harbor includes only a cargo facility. Hence, requirements are going to be, it requires spacious accommodation for mercantile marines, ample quay spacing has to be required. Apart from that one, facilities for transporting, and then the sheltered area for loading and unloading has to be required. So, as we know that it's been a cargo, it requires storage shed for the cargo systems has been concerned. So, apart from that one, good and quick repair facilities to avoid the delay. So, that is dry docks are going to be required. So, that is a perspective of commercial harbor. Then in which docks are going to be necessity. So, as I said it, so space accommodations, quick and delay is to be avoided. The same thing it is been explained. So, here it is a slide, it has been showing the commercial harbor. So, try to see that there might be of quays and berthing, it is being provided according to the ship sizes and loading activity or unloading activity. It is going to be required according to our harbor facilities. So, next type is going to be fisheries, as name itself indicates that it is meant only for a fishing operation. Hence, the requirement for this type of an harbor, it should be constantly open for both the departure and arrival of a fishing ship. So, there should not be any entry gate or a locking system. Loading and unloading facility should be quick, and it should dispatch the facility for the perishable through other mode of a transport like rail or road network. So, as the fish is going to be perishable, it requires quick and immediate transport. So, apart from that one, for storage it requires some refrigeration facilities, and also a storing space it is required for preserving the whatever the fish it is being catch according to requirement. So, this is the image where we can see some of the boats has been berthed here. Then there is an entrance according to our designing. So, this is another image where in which we can see a number of ships are being docked here. These are all fishery ships. So, depending upon loading and unloading facilities, so other components of harbors are going to be provided. So, it is only a dedicated in which no other cargoes are going to be operated. So, only a fisheries boat or some vessels can be operated. So, such type of an harbor we are going to be called as a fishery harbor, because its primary function is going to be for the fishery operations. Next is going to be the military harbor. It is meant from the strategic operations point of view. It is specially designed for the natural disaster or the war as going to be taken into account. So, always it is called as the naval base. So, for this purpose we are going to be having a naval vessels. So, it serves as a depot. So, in India we are going to be having in a Mumbai and also Cochin. Apart from that one, we are having a seabird in Karnataka. So, these are all going to be with a strategic point of view, or the safety or the defense of a country has been concerned. So, from that it requires a harbor should have a good enough space for the storage and repair facility. It means that it should have both dry and wet docks, it is been necessary. Apart from that one, we should have all the proper navigational aid. It may be of light buoys or whatever the things it is being concerned for the proper operation. So, as we know that it is going to be from the strategic option. So, we can see that there is a large space it is been on the land side, and also a larger area it is been given open for the ships or the naval base. It is been provided for the safer operation for the military purpose has been concerned. So, those are all with respect to the utility. So, apart depending upon the locations, we are been classifying the harbor as a canal, lake, a river, or the sea shore or the ocean type. Moving on to the first category, that is a canal harbor. So, as we know that suppose if the harbor is going to be located along the canal for the sea navigation with respect to inland or sometimes inland, it is found that maintenance of a dredging of canal is basin is generally negligible because of constant flow of water. Next type is going to be a lake type. So, this type of harbor is being constructed along the shores of a lake. So, if the lake is going to be larger, then the conditions are similar to those of the oceans or the sea, except the tidal action, it does not occurs in the form of lake, that is a smaller area. Next is going to be the river or the estuary type of an harbor. So, these type of harbors are going to be constructed along the banks of a rivers or the estuaries. The harbors are going to be constructed on the tidal of a river or the low basin over the river. Next type is going to be a sea type or the ocean harbor. The harbor which is being located on the coast of a sea or the ocean, it is called as a sea or a ocean type of an harbor. They are intended for the vessel movement. These are all some of the images we can see it with respect to the locations has been concerned. So, in this image the first one is a canal. So, from the sea we have been having a longer canal for the operations of ships. So, such types are going to be called as the canal harbor. So, if it is been operating on a specified lake, it has been standing over required depth. So, that type of harbor is going to be called as a lake type. So, next one is going to be river or the estuary harbor. So, if the rivers are, if it is been in conjunct with the estuaries formation, so such type of a harbor we are being called as a river and estuary type of an harbor. So, apart from that one, the entire sea it is been opened for the harbor activity. So, those are going to be called as a sea or ocean type of an harbor. So, that is with respect to the primary functions. Next is a bit depending upon the subsidiary conditions, we are been having a roadstead. Roadstead we are going to be having two type. One is a natural roadstead and another one is going to be a natural roadstead with a circumscribe. So, natural roadstead is a deep navigable channel in which it is been protected banks or the shoals towards the seaward. So, those are going to be called as natural roadstead. So, in this image we can see that on the land side activity and also the seaside activity. So, that is a coastal line. So, that is a navigable canal or the systems we have been having. So, these are the banks or the shoals we have been having it. So, that is going to be having a deep navigable channel protected bank. So, that is a natural type. Next type is going to be the natural roadstead with a circumscribe, in which the land with a creek of a water with a navigable channel having a protective bank are going to be called as a natural roadstead circumscribe. So, it means just see here in this image. So, we are been having a land. So, a small portion of a land we having a entry of a seawater here. So, it forms inland land for the continuous operation. So, such type is going to be called as a circumscribe. It means roadstead is being circumscribed from the land and water. So, next type is going to be the artificial roadstead. This may be formed by enclosing the tract providing a good anchorage by the projecting solid walls jetties from the shore. It means that if you are having a open sea, if you are having a solid wall here, so this portions is going to be called as a roadstead when we are going to be having a dock basin. On the other side we are having a shores and a banks. So, such type we are going to be called as an artificial roadstead. So, next type is going to be the artificial one. So, once again we are going to be having a two classification, artificial roadstead with a confined one. So, next one artificial roadstead with respect to the circumscribed. So, same thing as in the case we had been explained with the roadstead has been concerned. So, it is an artificial one. Moving on to the first category, that is a artificial roadstead when it is said confined, a confined basin of a small area which is having a narrow entrance and the exit. So, these are usually provided for the fishing vessels as a wharves for a smaller size. It is also helpful for loading and unloading activity. So, try to see here, it is a breakwater, it is been provided on the other side. So, there is an entry, that is an ingress, and there might be a exit gate. So, in between we are having a shore. So, that roadstead is going to be man made, that is been both side if you are constructed a breakwater that is called artificial roadstead confined one. So next is a artificial roadstead circumscribed. So these are being created suitably constructing the breakwater or a wall which is parallel or sometimes curvilinear to protect it coast from the uncertain activity. So such types are going to be called as an artificial road or circumscribed. So activity is nothing but natural protections with respect to the wind or the waves. So this is how we are going to be constructing with respect to roadstead has been concerned. Moving on to the next is going to be the layout of artificial harbor and its component. So this is important from the examinations point of view. So we are going to be having both the land side and seaside activity. So as far as the artificial harbor has been concerned, so artificial harbor means it is a man-made harbor. So we need to construct both sides the breakwater. So moving on to this sketch has been concerned, we are going to be having a different component just like a quay, jetties, then it is called as a breakwater. So on the other side we are having a sea water. So this portions is going to be called as a dry dock. So then we are going to be having a berthing. So berthing wharfs or berths has been concerned. So apart from that one, we are going to be having a turning basin for turning the position of a ship for the directional movement for the towards the entry gate. So next we are going to be having wind directions or the wind protections. So that is going to be there. So approach canal for the approach of ship from the sea towards the harbor. Then this portion is called as a entrance. So sometimes it is being provided with entrance gate. So these are the layout component of an harbor has been concerned. So that is what we are been discussing. So apart from that one, we are going to be having a harbor entrance, approach channel, turning basin, breakwater, piers and jetties, quays and wharves, then dry dock, berth and wharves, locked and locked basin. So these are few of the components we are going to be discussing. So first one is going to be the harbor entrance. So harbor entrance is usually exposed to the wave, hence it is going to be having a wide enough space or the entrance has to be provided for navigational requirement so as to avoid the dangerous tidal currents has been concerned. So the width of the entrance depend upon the density of a traffic it is been handled. So that is with respect to harbor entrance. Next is a approach channel. So this is a dredged path of a water through which the ships are being proceeded from the open sea to the harbor. So that is called as the approach channel. The alignment and the dimension of the channels are being determined after considering the factors it is been involved with respect to the channel design. So that is called approach channel. Next is a turning basin, that is an area it is been required for maneuvering of a ship. So when it goes or it leaves a berth so that the ship can leave head on. So the size of a turning basin primarily depends upon the designed vessel or the ship. Next is a dry dock. This is an essentially provided for the maintenance and repairing of a ship. So this can be kept dry for ease of a repairing. So it has a gate for the entrance which closed after taking the vessels inside, so that the water is going to be pumped out to render it to make it a dry for the repair operations. So that is called as a dry dock. Next is a lock and a locked basin. Locked basin is a enclosed basin which we are having a number of vessels can be berthed and has an entrance. So which can be controlled by the proper operations of a gate. So that is called as an lock gate. The water within the locked basin can be independent of outside the water level as it changes. So it means uniform water level we can maintain it by locking the gate. Next is the breakwater. The main function of a breakwater or a system means it needs to be protected or enclosed area of water from the external agencies like a storm wave. So this breakwater will helps in keeping the water inside the harbor calm. It means a leveled surface. So as the name it indicates, it is going to be a breakwater, means so water or the wave intensity has been braked to make it the water calm. So that is the thing. Moving on to the next component, it is called piers and jetties. These are a solid or open type of a structure with a wide platform on the top, which permits the cargo from the working of a vessels, or it is been berthed alongside. They have built out from the shores to reduce the silting. So such types are going to be called as a piers and jetties. Next is the quays and wharfs. These are usually constructed parallel to the shores or a breakwater within the harbor and are meant for permitting the berthing of a vessel alongside for the cargo working. So these have a backfill of earth, the material which is being used to have a wider platform on the top. So such facilities were going to be called as a quays and wharfs. So these are all the few of the components we have been discussing with respect to the layout component of an harbor has been concerned. So to prepare these sessions, once again we are referred the same standard textbook as mentioned in the syllabus along with the web references. Thank you.